Hey guys, when you're working with QuickBooks and you're doing transaction review, you're going through your stuff from more than a year ago, you want to be careful about duplication here, because sometimes inside of the bank feed it'll occur as though there is not a match on the books when the technology is such that it's not really recognizing transactions beyond a year as matches. So we want to make sure that we go in here and double check. So this is the process. Like when you have transactions that are older, you know that you've been entering transactions on the books manually, or they've been entered in the books before, or you have a process of entering transactions directly on the books. Then you want to come in here and make sure you click on Find Match. And the other situation is that, well, you just use the bank feed to enter transactions on QuickBooks. Some people have a workflow in which they only use the banking feed to enter transactions manually, and maybe there are a few transactions, like income transactions, like invoices that come into the bank that have been entered on the books in terms of an invoice or a payment received or something like that. Then you don't necessarily have to lean on this process if you're used to entering transactions directly in the banking feed and only there. Okay, this situation is if you know that you have a process where you have been working on your books, you've been entering transactions manually or putting transactions on the books outside the bank feed. Okay, so if you know that that's your process, then you want to come here and do this. You want to double check. You want to make sure that the transactions that are coming through the bank feed, even though it's not automatically registering inside the bank feed that this is a match, you want to double check to make sure that there is not a match on the books before you go ahead and duplicate that entry on your books and cause more problems for yourself. Okay, so this is what you would do. You'd come into that, Find Match, and you would, hey, there it is. There is a match here for this transaction. So you can go ahead and click on Save. Now, before we do that here, excuse me guys, before we do that, a couple of things. Like there are simple transactions like these, in which is very clear. There is a deposit recorded on the books, and we have a match. Fantastic. Now there are other transactions where we receive payments, and they aren't matching up with this number because there may be multiple payments that have been deposited into your bank account, and the individual transaction is not the same as what's showing up here, but all those transactions combined would make up the total amount here. So in that case, more than likely, there will be more transactions in here that you can click on to make up that balance, if that's the case. So if you had multiple deposits or multiple payments from customers on a specific date, they will show up here for you to check on those transactions so that they will comprise that total amount. Okay? And then you come here, and once you do that, you click on Save, and you're done. All right, and you want to go down the line. Mostly in the expense transaction column is where you want to work. This is where most of the work is going to be done, is what I want to say. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you.